What up, people? This is my first time, like, actually going live on this platform. I normally just go live on what is that? Facebook, and I just upload my videos here. But recently, I've acquired the ability to go live on this platform, so I'm utilizing it. And as you can see, the title says, did we create God, or did God create us? You know, and what is God? What is God? I mean, how do we get enough information to even get to a place to where we can understand the concept of what we call God? So first and foremost, to even ask that question, you really got to come to a place where you say, well, if I'm asking, did God make us, or did we make God, then the first question is that, do I even know who God is or what God is? And if there's a such thing as God, then do this being think like me? And if this being we call God thinks like me, then, and I know how I think, then how could I ever, or how could we ever get to a place to where we say that we created this being called God? I mean, because when we think of the concept of God, or the idea of God, God is the one responsible, or supposedly, if you start thinking along the lines of God and not in the way that you think about yourself, because most people, when they think about God, they only thinking about God from a perspective of their limitations, their mindsets, their ideas, their concepts, and so to think about God from that perspective, from that paradigm, then what you think God is a very outdated, a very low, from a very low place. Because when you think about yourself, the furthest that you can see out is really based on the furthest that you can see in. And most of us, we don't obtain enough information within so that we can even have the ability to see without. Because most of our concepts of our ideologies on sight, vision, smell, and hearing is based on the physical senses, but don't understand that those physical senses are connected to the mind. Most of us have this concept of this ideology that is my eyes that see. Now, to a degree, yeah. But the reality of it all, that it's really not the eyes that see, it's the mind. The mind created the eyes so that the mind can see, so that the mind can experience itself in outside of the environment that it is encased in. Because if you think about the brain for a moment, the brain is encased in darkness. If you think about the brain for a moment, the brain is encased in darkness. So the brain had to create a vehicle that can create vehicles so that it can travel outside of the darkness that it is encased in, i.e. in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form, darkness, void. Now, if you think about that same concept with the brain is encased in darkness. So it had to create the one thing that can bring it light, which are the eyes. So when you start talking about the concepts of the ideologies of did we create God or did God create us, then you have to stop limiting yourself to your own frustrations, your own fears, your own doubts, and move beyond that and see past the spectrum of reality that was handed to us. And most of us, we really can't see. Most of us don't even have a original thought or an original idea, because if you have an educational background, degree, or whatever, then think about it. Your education prepared you for the world that you are about to enter into, or the world that they want you to see. Because the world we can't see is influenced by greater things than what they can teach you or hand you in the traditional educational system, if that makes sense to you. So to even start talking about God, or to even call yourself God, that lets me know that you don't even have enough information to even grasp the concept of the ideology of what God is and what he's responsible for. Now, if you saying because I have the ability to create light, just like our books say that God has the ability to create light, but the thing about it is that, you know, we have the ability to turn on light as opposed to creation of light. We have the ability to create. We think we have the ability to create life. No, we have the ability to procreate life. We only have the ability to mimic what already exists, what already is. We don't have the ability to actually create. We only have the ability to procreate. We only have the ability to mimic what already exists, what already is here. Because creation is not about what we think it's about. Just because we have the ability to get a copper wire, a battery, right? Get some energy, get a positive charge and a negative charge, and hook these things together, and it creates a energy that causes the spectrum to become visible, don't mean we just created light. That just simply means that we mimicked what was already here, what is actually already here. That's all we did. We only mimicked what was already here. And so to say that we created God or we created God simply means, or simply lets me know that you yourself, you don't even have enough information to even fathom God. Just like we don't really have the ability to see off into the solar system properly. And so we have to create systems, we have to create tools, and we have to create ideas in order for us to give us the ability to see that far. Because right now we don't have the ability to see that far unless we create a device that will cause us to see that far. So again, it's very, very, very important that when we start asking these questions, we must first get to the place to where we can create systems, devices, and tools that will allow us to see further than what we have the ability to see now. So to say, or to ask the question whether or not, if we created God and you give an immediate response or you give an immediate answer, this lets me know that you are very, very limited in what you know and what you have the ability to see. I just came on here just for a few moments, you know, just to see if I can go live on YouTube on my mobile device. Listen. When I get to a place of rest, then we'll go deeper off into this concept or this idea that we create God or that God create us. Because again, you got to ask yourself, did Steve Jobs create the iPhone? Or did Steve Jobs put some things together that just manifested what was already here? Or he reproduced what was already here? Listen, like, follow my channel, invite, so we can get off into deeper concepts so that we can stretch and grow together. Listen, Jesus loves you, men and women of God, and so do I.